Okay, let's dive in. Think about this for a moment. Picture an island, maybe about the size of West Virginia, but it feels like it holds, well, countless worlds inside it. You've got these misty mountains, right? Plunging down into green tea plantations. And then it all just cascades down to these amazing sun-drenched beaches.
Yeah, the Indian Ocean just right there.
Exactly. We are talking about Sri Lanka, the pearl of the Indian Ocean. It's just bursting with ancient history, such a vibrant culture, and honestly, jaw-dropping scenery.
And specifically for you, maybe someone listening right now thinking about that next big adventure, perhaps a solo trip.
Yeah.
Something that feels, manageable, but also really deeply enriching.
Yeah,
This deep dive is really designed to help you unlock Sri Lanka.
absolutely. Our mission today is pretty straightforward. We want to pull out those essential insights, the things that make Sri Lanka not just like a possibility, but a really brilliant choice if you're traveling alone.
Right.
We want to give you that practical know-how so you can travel smarter, feel confident navigating, and just really soak it all in, from the buzz of the cities to, I don't know, the quiet calm of a temple courtyard.
Yeah, we'll touch on what makes it so good for solo exploring, how you actually get around those diverse landscapes, or you might lay your head each night.
Yeah, food.
Oh, the incredible food, definitely. And those really crucial tips, for staying safe and being culturally aware.
Okay, so let's get right into it. When people say Sri Lanka is perfect for solo backpackers, what's the real heart of that appeal?
Well, I think what's genuinely fascinating is the sheer intensity of its diversity,
Yeah.
packed into such a relatively small space.
Right.
You mentioned mountains to beaches. That's not just like a theoretical thing. You can literally do that in a day's travel sometimes.
Wow.
The landscape shifts so dramatically. You've got the coast of the palm trees, then the misty highlands, ancient ruins popping up, busy cities, jungles full of wildlife. It just keeps every day feeling new.
The beach to mountains that fast, that really does sell the diversity. And alongside that amazing scenery, there's the practical side too, isn't there?
Exactly. Yeah, for a solo traveler, maybe watching the budget, Sri Lanka is incredibly forgiving. You'll find that local food, getting around on public transport, places to stay like guest houses, hostels, it's all genuinely affordable. Your money just goes further, which means you can stay longer, experience more.
That is a massive point. And something else that always comes up is the people. There's this reputation for just incredible warmth, real hospitality.
It really is. It's often highlighted, yeah.
Yeah.
Sri Lankans are often genuinely welcoming, curious about visitors. It might be small things, like someone helping you figure out the right bus.
Yeah.
Or, bigger things, maybe getting invited for tea.
Yeah.
That sort of natural friendliness,
Yeah.
it can really make a difference when you're traveling alone, make you feel less isolated.
And beneath all that, there's this incredible depth of history and culture.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You're stepping into a place with thousands of years of history,
Yeah.
Ancient cities with huge stupas, intricately carved palaces, colonial forts still standing guard.
Right.
Plus, a really strong Buddhist heritage you see everywhere, in countless temples and these amazing, vibrant festivals happening all year round. There's just so much depth to explore.
Okay, so you're picturing yourself there. How do you actually get there and start moving around this incredible island?
Right. The first step is getting in. And for a lot of people, that's pretty straightforward these days. There's an electronic travel authorization, the ETA, which you can often just apply for online.
Oh, okay.
It simplifies the whole visa thing quite a bit, even before you leave home.
Good tip.
Yeah.
So once you've landed, getting around that sounds like part of the adventure itself. Those trains are famous for a reason.
Oh, absolutely. Forget just getting from A to B. The journey itself is iconic.
Yeah.
Especially that famous route between Kandy and Ella. It just winds right through the hill country. Incredible views of tea plantations, mountains, and it's so cheap. It's like the quintessential Sri Lankan backpacking experience. You have to do it.
Sounds amazing.
But while the trains cover some key routes, the buses are really the workhorse of the whole system.
Okay.
They're super frequent. They go almost everywhere. Just be prepared for them to be crowded sometimes.
Yeah.
And maybe a bit fast-paced.
Right, got it. And for shorter distances within towns or cities?
Tuk-tuks, they're everywhere. Absolutely ubiquitous, perfect for those shorter hops.
And something I found really useful, especially in cities like Colombo or Kandy, if you want, sort of clear pricing without haggling. Use the Pick Me app. It's basically their local version of Uber or Grab. Gives you a bit more certainty on fares and, safety too.
That's a great tip. What about exploring on your own wheels, like a scooter?
Yeah, scooter rental is definitely an option, especially in the main tourist spots, gives you loads of flexibility. But you really do need to be cautious. Traffic can be pretty chaotic, and the road conditions aren't always perfect.
Right, noted. Okay, logistics sorted. Where should you, as a solo traveler, really think about spending your time to get a proper feel for the island?
Well, Ella, up in the hill country, gets recommended all the time, and for good reason.
Okay.
It's a major hub for hiking, think Little Adams Peak, Ella Rock. It's got this really nice, relaxed backpacker atmosphere, loads of cafes, and it's super easy to meet other travelers there.
Sounds good. And if you head south from the hills?
You hit that famous southern coast. Marissa and Willigama are really popular beach towns. You can find everything from just chilling on the beach to taking surfing lessons, great spots to just unwind.
Nice.
And you absolutely have to step back in time, and Sigiriya is the place for that. The ancient rock fortress, the Lion Rock, it's an absolute must-see, steeped in history, and the views from the top are just incredible. Then there's Kandy. It's set around this beautiful lake in the hills, kind of the cultural capital. It's home to the Temple of the Tooth Relic, which is a hugely important Buddhist site. Offers a really different vibe, a different cultural immersion. And maybe for something a bit different, a bit less on the main tourist trail, Jaffna, way up in the north. It offers this really unique Tamil culture and history, a different facet of Sri Lanka entirely.
Interesting. Okay, so you've picked your spots. Now you need somewhere to stay to recharge. What are the accommodation options like?
Hostels are pretty common, especially in those main hubs like Ella, Unawatuna, Colombo. They're obviously great for meeting people and usually easy on the wallet.
Yeah, standard backpacker stuff.
Exactly. But for maybe a slightly more local or intimate experience, guest houses and homestays are super popular and very common.
Okay.
You might end up staying with a local family or just in a small, locally run place. Often get great insights, amazing home-cooked food too.
That sounds lovely. And finding these places.
Platforms like Booking.com, Hostelworld, they're widely used, pretty reliable for searching and booking ahead.
And when you're actually looking at listings, especially traveling solo, it's probably smart to check for a few practical things.
Yeah,
right?
really. Like, does it have decent Wi-Fi? You'll want to stay connected. Are there secure lockers for your passport and valuables?
Good point.
And maybe check if there's 247 reception, especially if you think you might arrive late or need to leave really early. Those little things can make a difference to your peace of mind.
Totally. Okay, speaking of essentials,
Ooh.
food. Let's talk food. What absolutely has to be on your must-try list?
Oh, the food is definitely a highlight. You absolutely cannot leave without trying rice and curry. It sounds simple, but it's so much more. It's like a central rice portion, but then served with all these different small, incredibly flavorful curries, vegetables, lentils, sometimes fish or meat.
Right, like a whole platter experience.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's kutu roti. That's amazing street food. They basically chop up flatbread with veggies, egg, maybe some meat, all on a hot griddle. The sound of them making it is just iconic.
I think I've heard that sound. And hoppers.
Yes, hoppers. These delicate, sort of bowl-shaped pancakes made from rice flour, often served with a soft-cooked egg right in the middle. Delicious for breakfast.
Sounds amazing. But critically important for staying healthy, drinking water.
Yes, absolutely crucial. Stick to bottled water or make absolutely sure any water you drink has been properly boiled. That's just non-negotiable, especially in a tropical climate. Don't risk it.
Good advice. And beyond the meals.
You have to experience the tea. Ceylon tea is famous around the world for a reason. Visiting a tea plantation, maybe doing a factory tour, especially up in the hill country, it's a fantastic cultural thing to do. And while the tea tastes amazing right there.
Definitely on the list.
Yeah.
Now, a big one for any solo traveler, safety. What's the general vibe in Sri Lanka on that front?
Generally speaking, Sri Lanka is considered a very safe country for tourists, and that includes people traveling alone. But, you know, like anywhere else in the world, being aware, taking sensible precautions, that's just key to having a smooth trip.
Right, so specific things to keep in mind.
Well, the beaches are stunning, but probably best to avoid walking alone on deserted stretches, especially after dark. Stick to areas that are well lit or where there are other people around.
Makes sense.
Also, be a bit cautious with alcohol, especially if you're out by yourself or in places you don't know well. Just, keep your wits about you.
Standard advice, but always worth repeating.
Yeah.
What about valuables?
Using a money belt or maybe one of those neck pouches is a really simple but effective trick. Keeps your essentials, passport copy, cards, some cash, close and hidden.
Yeah, good habit to get into anywhere.
And always, always have digital copies of your important documents, your passport, your visa. Store them securely online, maybe email them to yourself, just as a backup in case anything happens to the originals.
Smart move. Okay, planning ahead also means packing smart. What are the absolute essentials for Sri Lanka's climate and culture?
Lightweight clothes are a must for the heat, obviously, but definitely pack a rain jacket too. Tropical showers can just appear out of nowhere. And importantly, if you are heading up to the hill country Ella, Nuwara, Aliyah, you need warm layers, sweaters, fleeces. It gets surprisingly chilly up there, especially at night.
Good to know. Electronics.
Make sure you have a universal adapter. Sri Lanka mainly uses the UK-style 3-pin plugs.
Yeah.
And a power bank, honestly, invaluable for keeping your phone, your camera charged when you're out all day, especially on those long train rides or hikes.
Definitely need a power bank. Health and comfort basics.
Strong mosquito repellent is essential. High SPF sunscreen, definitely. And comfortable footwear, flip-flops or sandals for the heat, but maybe some closed shoes for hiking or walking around cities.
And that cultural essential you mentioned.
Yes, a sarong. Or even just a light scarf, something you can easily carry to cover your shoulders and knees. This is absolutely crucial for visiting temples. It's about showing respect.
Which leads us nicely into cultural etiquette. Really important stuff to know to navigate interactions smoothly. Right?
Absolutely. Modesty is really key when you're visiting religious sites, like temples. Shoulders and knees covered for everyone, men and women. And always, always remember to take off your shoes and any hats before you go inside.
Simple respect.
Yeah.
What about interacting with people generally?
Yeah, a common custom is to use your right hand for things like eating with your hands or giving and receiving items, even money. The left hand is traditionally considered less clean. It's just a small thing, but shows awareness.
Good to remember.
And just a general point on public behavior. Public displays of affection, like kissing or hugging, are generally frowned upon. It's best to be discreet and just mindful of local customs.
Okay. Finally, let's quickly touch on timing your trip. Sri Lanka has those different monsoon seasons affecting different areas.
Right, so if you're planning to explore the popular south and west coasts, think Marissa, Gali, Onawatuna, the best time, the driest weather, is typically between December and March.
Okay, prime time for the south.
But if your plans lean more towards the north and the east coast, maybe Jaffna or Trincomalee for diving, the ideal window actually shifts. It's usually better from April through to September.
Interesting how it flips like that.
It does. And a useful tip for backpackers, maybe on a tighter budget or wanting fewer crowds, traveling during the shoulder seasons or even the off-season for a specific coast, it can mean fewer people at the big sites and you might find better deals on places to stay. It offers a different kind of experience, sometimes more relaxed.
Worth considering. So pulling all these threads together, setting off solo in Sri Lanka really does sound like it could be a profoundly rewarding journey. Transformative, even.
It really does. It feels like a place where every turn could reveal something stunningly beautiful, where you'll encounter these genuine smiles and where those little moments of unexpected magic are just waiting around the corner.
And with just a little bit of planning, armed with these kinds of practical tips we talked about, you're not just booking flights and packing a bag.
No.
You're really setting the stage for an unforgettable exploration. That excitement of discovery, it's truly waiting for you there.
So here's something to think about. Considering all that cultural depth, all that natural beauty packed into this relatively small island, what unexpected aha moment, that personal connection or surprising discovery, what do you think might be waiting for you around a corner in Sri Lanka? Get ready to take that first unforgettable step.